Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting topics for coin collectors and treasure hunters, the most valuable Abraham Lincoln steel penny ever made so special. How much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. So let's get started. First up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel penny with an S mint mark is one of the most distinctive and fascinating coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Produced at the San Francisco Mint, this coin stands out immediately because it was made of steel rather than the usual copper used for Lincoln wheat pennies. This one-year-only change in composition makes the 1943 steel cent one of the most talked-about coins among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. Even though it's common in lower grades, it holds deep historical significance as a product of World War II, a time when every resource, even copper, was redirected to support America's military efforts. During World War II, copper was a critical war material used in producing ammunition, shell casings, and electrical wiring. To conserve this essential metal, the U.S. Mint temporarily changed the penny's composition in 1943 from the standard 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc to a zinc-coated steel planchet. This made the coins appear silver or grayish in color, unlike any other U.S. cent before or since. However, this change was short-lived, as the steel cents quickly proved problematic. They rusted easily, stuck to magnets, and were often mistaken for dimes. By 1944, the Mint returned to using copper alloy again, this time from recycled wartime shell casings. The obverse of the 1943 S. Lincoln steel penny features President Abraham Lincoln's classic portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Above Lincoln's head are the words, "In God we trust." To the left is "Liberty," and to the right is the date, 1943, with the small S mint mark beneath it, indicating that it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. The reverse design features two stylized wheat ears framing the denomination 1 cent and United States of America. At the top appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many. Your coin is described as being in dirty condition with some scratches, which is common for steel pennies. Over time, the thin zinc coating on these coins can wear off, exposing the steel underneath to air and moisture. When this happens, the steel begins to oxidize or rust, giving the coin a dull gray or even blackish appearance. Dirt, corrosion, and scratches from circulation are also typical signs of age and handling. In this condition, while the main design is still visible, fine details in Lincoln's hair, beard, and the wheat stalks may be worn or faint. The 1943 S. Lincoln steel penny had a total mintage of about 191,550,000 coins, making it one of the more plentiful mintages from that year. While all 1943 steel cents are historically important, they are not considered rare in circulated condition because so many were produced and saved by the public. In fact, many people held on to these unusual silver-looking pennies as keepsakes after the war, ensuring that millions still exist today. In today's collector market, a 1943 S. Lincoln steel penny in dirty, scratched, and circulated condition generally sells for around 0.10 to 0.25. Coins in very fine or extremely fine condition may be valued between 0.30 and 0.75, and uncirculated examples with full original luster can sell for $2 to $5. Brilliant! Mint state specimens certified by PCGS or NGC can reach $10 to $30 or more, especially those that have retained their original bright zinc coating with no signs of rust or spotting. Since your coin is in well-worn and dirty condition, its fair market value today would realistically be around 10 to 15 cents. While this coin's financial value is modest, its historical importance cannot be overstated. It tells a story of sacrifice and innovation during one of the most difficult periods in modern history. Every 1943 steel penny represents a moment when ordinary Americans were asked to adapt for the greater good, when even small changes, like conserving copper for bullets, symbolized unity and determination. The steel penny was a creative solution to a national challenge, and holding one today connects you directly to that remarkable chapter in America's past. Collectors also find the 1943 series interesting because of the rare minting errors associated with it. The most famous of these is the 1943 copper penny, which was accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets from 1942. These rare mistakes are worth tens of thousands of dollars, with some examples selling for more than $100,000 at auction. Conversely, a few 1944 steel cents were also struck in error and are equally valuable. While your coin is a standard 1943 steel cent, it's always wise to examine it closely or have it tested with a magnet. Genuine steel cents are magnetic, while the rare copper ones are not. The scratches and darkened color on your coin are signs of its long journey through history. Rather than detracting from its worth, they give it character and authenticity. It's best not to clean the coin, as cleaning can remove the remaining zinc coating and expose more of the steel beneath, causing faster rusting. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a dry, airtight container or protective sleeve. Keeping it away from humidity will help prevent further corrosion. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a charming and historical piece of mid-20th century American coinage. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin represents one of the final years of the beloved wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958, before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. While the 1956 penny is not particularly rare, it remains a beautiful example of the craftsmanship and heritage that define U.S. coinage, and a small but meaningful piece of American history. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighs about 3.11 grams, and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. It has a plain edge and was originally struck with a bright reddish-orange color that, over time, typically darkens to shades of brown or red-brown as the copper reacts with air and oils from handling. Your coin is described as being in good condition with some scratches, meaning it has circulated for many years and shows noticeable wear. In this condition, Lincoln's face, hair, and coat are smooth and flat, with many of the finer details lost. The lettering and date remain legible, but the overall surface may appear dull, and scratches are visible from handling or storage. On the reverse, the wheat stalks will be faint, but still recognizable, and the coin's color might show darker tones from oxidation and age. The Philadelphia Mint produced a very large number of these coins, over 420 million in total, making the 1956 no-mint mark wheat penny one of the more common issues of the series. Because of this high mintage, most circulated examples like yours do not carry significant monetary value, though they remain popular among collectors for their history and design. In today's collector market, a 1956 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in good circulated condition with scratches generally sells for 0.05 to 0.2 $10. In fine to very fine condition, its value may rise to 0.15 to 0.25, and in extremely fine condition, it could bring 0.30 to $0.50. Uncirculated examples with bright original luster, especially those with a full red copper tone, can sell for $1 to $3. A feeders on fin. While certified mint state specimens, graded by PCGS or NGC, can be valued at $5 to $20 or more, depending on their color and overall eye appeal. For your coin, given its circulation wear and scratches, a fair estimate of its value in today's market is around 5 to 10 cents. Although its market price is modest, this coin's historical and sentimental value is far greater. The year 1956 was a time of prosperity and change in the United States, a period when families were buying homes, cars, and televisions in record numbers. Pennies like yours were a daily part of life, used for everything from payphones and bus rides to candy and soda. Every worn mark on your coin tells the story of a different era, when 1 cent could still buy something meaningful. The scratches and darkened surface you describe are signs of honest circulation, not flaws to be erased. It's best not to clean your coin, as cleaning removes the original patina that gives it character and can even reduce its collector appeal. Instead, handle it gently by its edges to avoid leaving fingerprints, and store it in a soft plastic coin flip or holder to protect it from further wear or oxidation. Over time, keeping it in a dry, stable environment will help preserve its condition. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark may not be a rare or high-value coin, but it represents the closing chapter of a classic American design, one that carried the image of a great president and symbolized the nation's ideals of unity and hard work. It's a simple copper coin with deep historical roots, linking you to generations of Americans who used it in everyday life. Even with its scratches and wear, your coin is a living piece of history, a survivor from the 1950s that continues to tell its story nearly 70 years later. Next up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a wonderful and historic coin that reflects America's economic recovery period during the late years of the Great Depression. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin was part of a series that has become one of the most recognized and collected in the world, the Lincoln Wheat Cent, which was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Wheat Penny was America's first circulating coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure, and it quickly became one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. The 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighs 3.11 grams, and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. It has a plain edge and was originally struck with a beautiful reddish luster that has often darkened to brown or red-brown tones over the decades due to oxidation and circulation. Your coin is described as being in very fine condition with some scratches, which means that most of the main details are still visible and clear. In this grade, Lincoln's hair and beard show moderate wear but retain some texture, and the facial features are still distinct. The lettering and date are bold and easy to read, while the reverse design still displays both wheat stalks with good definition, though some of the finer lines may be worn smooth from handling. The light scratches you mention are normal for circulated coins that have been in use for many years. The year 1937 saw the production of over 309 million wheat pennies from the Philadelphia Mint, making this issue fairly common in circulated grades today. However, collectors still value these coins for their age, copper composition, and historical significance. The 1930s were a difficult yet transformative time in America. The nation was recovering from the Great Depression. Industries were reviving, and coins like your 1937 penny passed through countless hands during this era of rebuilding and change. In today's collector market, the value of a 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark varies depending on condition. In good circulated condition, it may be worth around $0.10 to $0.20s. In very fine condition, like your coin, the value can rise to around $0.25 every these, $0.05 to $0.50. Extremely fine examples may sell for $0.75 to $1, while uncirculated coins with full red luster can command prices from $3 to $10 or more, depending on eye appeal and grading. Coins that have been professionally graded and encapsulated by companies like PCGS or NGC can bring even higher prices if they are in exceptional condition. Given your coin's very fine condition with scratches, a fair market estimate today would be around $0.30 to $0.50. While that may seem like a modest amount, the true worth of your 1937 wheat penny lies in its historical value. This coin has survived nearly 90 years, circulating during an era when every penny had meaning. Back then, a single cent could buy a postcard, a stick of gum, or a newspaper. Each worn mark on your coin tells a story. Perhaps of a worker saving change during the Depression, a child collecting coins, or a family shopping in a small-town general store. If you want to keep your coin in the best possible condition, it's important not to clean it. Cleaning can damage the surface and reduce its collector value by removing the original patina that collectors appreciate. Instead, handle it gently by its edges to avoid fingerprints and store it in a protective coin holder or soft flip. Keeping it in a dry, cool place will help preserve its condition and prevent further oxidation. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny represents more than just a piece of old copper. It's a small, enduring piece of American history. It connects us to a time when coins carried more than monetary value. They carried the pride, hope, and struggles of an entire generation. Even though its market value is low, your coin is a lasting symbol of resilience and craftsmanship, a humble artifact that continues to tell the story of America's strength through hard times. Next up, the 1955 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is a fascinating coin from the final years of the classic wheat cent series. It was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints of the mid-20th century, and represents a period when the Lincoln wheat penny remained a cornerstone of American pocket change. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin continues to be a beloved piece of U.S. numismatic history, admired for its elegant design and connection to President Abraham Lincoln. A timeless symbol of freedom, unity, and leadership. The 1955 D Lincoln penny is made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighs about 3.11 grams, and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. It has a plain edge and was originally struck with a bright reddish-golden copper luster. Over time, however, most of these coins, including yours, have developed a brown or dark tone from oxidation, especially when exposed to air, moisture, or dirt. You mentioned that your coin is in dirty condition with some scratches, which is quite common for circulated coins of this age. In this state, the coin shows moderate wear. Lincoln's hair and facial details are slightly smoothed, and the surface might appear dull or dark. The scratches may come from long years of use in circulation or rough storage, and the dirt or toning adds a layer of history that tells of its long journey through time. The Denver Mint produced an enormous number of these coins, approximately 563 million, making the 1955 D Lincoln penny one of the most common wheat cents of the 1950s. However, despite its large mintage, collectors still prize these coins for their age, copper content, and the artistry of Brenner's design. The 1955 D issue is sometimes confused with the famous 1955 doubled die penny, but that rare error only occurred on Philadelphia minted coins, which have no mint mark. The Denver version, though more common, remains historically valuable as a piece of a bygone era. In today's collector market, the value of a 1955 D Lincoln wheat penny depends largely on its condition and color. For circulated examples in good-to-fine condition, like yours, the coin typically sells for 0.5 to 0.8 Ts. In very fine to extremely fine condition, its value can range from 0.33 private euro to 15 when I to 0.8 can I 22. Uncirculated examples with red luster Coins that were never used in circulation can sell for $1 to $3 while high-grade mint state coins certified by PCGS or NGC can fetch $10 to $25 or more, depending on their color, red, red-brown, or brown. Based on your description of a dirty coin with scratches, the fair market value today would be around $0.05 to $10. While this may seem like a small monetary value, your coin carries a much greater historical and sentimental worth. The year 1955 was a time of optimism in America. The post-war economy was booming, families were moving into new homes, and consumer culture was rapidly growing. Coins like your 1955 D penny were used daily in every corner of the country for newspapers, telephones, candy, and public transportation. Each scratch and mark on your coin tells a story of countless hands that passed it along over the decades, connecting it to the everyday life of the mid-20th century. If you want to preserve your coin, it's best not to clean it. Cleaning removes the natural patina that collectors value and can actually decrease its worth. Instead, gently handle it by the edges and store it in a soft plastic coin flip or holder. Keeping it away from humidity and direct sunlight will prevent further discoloration or corrosion. The 1955 D Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just a copper coin. It's a tangible piece of history, a symbol of the American spirit that endured through wars, progress, and change. Even though its market value is small, it represents the hard-working people of the 1950s, a time when every cent had meaning. The dirt and scratches on your coin are not flaws, but reminders of its long life and journey through history. Holding it today connects you directly to the past, to an era when Abraham Lincoln's image on a single penny stood as a daily reminder of equality, perseverance, and hope for a brighter future. Next up, the 1940 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is a beautiful and historically meaningful coin that reflects America's strength and resilience on the eve of World War II. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin continues the long legacy of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, one of the most iconic and beloved designs in U.S. coinage. Created by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln Cent first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Its design and symbolism have made it one of the most collected coins in the world. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighs 3.11 grams, and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. It has a plain edge, and when newly struck, it shone with a beautiful red-orange luster that gradually darkened to shades of brown and red-brown over time. Your coin is described as being in very fine condition with some scratches, which suggests it circulated for a number of years, but still retains most of its major details. In this grade, Lincoln's facial features, hair, and coat lines are still visible with moderate wear, and the inscriptions remain clear and bold. On the reverse, both wheat stalks are well defined, though some of the finer lines may be slightly worn. The light scratches you mention are common and usually caused by normal handling and storage over the decades. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 586 million Lincoln Wheat pennies in 1940, making this issue fairly common today in circulated grades. However, its age and connection to a significant historical era, just before the United States entered World War II, give it great historical importance. Every 1940 penny is a link to a time when America was emerging from the Great Depression and preparing for the challenges ahead. These coins passed through the hands of everyday Americans who were working hard, saving, and rebuilding their lives after one of the toughest decades in U.S. history. In today's collector market, the value of a 1940 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark depends on its condition and color. In good to fine condition, it's typically worth $0.25 to $0.0 0.28. In very fine condition, like your coin, the value can rise to around 0.15 to $0.30. Extremely fine examples are valued around 0.50 pine to 0.75, while uncirculated red specimens can sell for $2 to $5, or even higher, depending on their color and luster. Coins certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC and graded as high-quality mint state can fetch $10 to $20 or more. Given your coin's very fine condition with scratches, its fair market value in today's market is approximately 0.20 to $0.30. Although the monetary value may seem small, the historical and sentimental worth of this coin is far greater. It has survived for over 8 decades, a silent witness to some of the most important events of the 20th century. Imagine the stories it could tell. Perhaps it was used in a local store during the early 1940s, passed between a young couple saving for a home, or given to a child as pocket money during wartime America. Every mark and scratch adds to its character, showing its long journey through countless hands and generations. To preserve your 1940 wheat penny, avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can damage its surface and remove the natural patina that collectors find desirable. Instead, hold the coin gently by its edges and store it in a soft plastic coin flip or acid-free holder. Keeping it in a cool, dry place away from humidity will prevent further discoloration or corrosion. The 1940 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny stands as a small but powerful piece of American history. It embodies the values of hard work, perseverance, and unity that defined the nation during a time of recovery and change. Even with its scratches and wear, your coin remains a tangible connection to the past, a copper relic from an era when every cent mattered. Though its value in dollars may be modest, its legacy as part of the story of America makes it truly priceless in its own way.